I'm trying.
Ruben.
Oh shit.
Go straight, go straight, go straight. Go over there.
Truck's dead. Shit.
So we were, it was a Memorial Day weekend, and we were gonna go camping, me and my buddy Justin, his in-laws, and his wife. And so we went up to a certain camp spot. It's up near the Rubicon. So it's when you go into Fordyce, actually, it's a Fordyce is one way. This camp spot is the other way. So really cool camp spot, 4-wheel drive only to get there. You know, you can't, has to be high clearance. So really cool camp spots, and it's along the Yuba River. So this would be near Cisco Grove in California, east of Sacramento. So we went up there and we found our camp spot that we wanted right away. It was available, so we jumped on it, and I'm like one of those guys that's like, you know, I'm not done yet. Like, we're already here, and it was a quick jaunt to get here, so let's go cruise and, you know, just kind of check out other camp spots and just do a little wheeling. So we cruised down the trail a little bit further, and as we're going down the trail, we're moving along to a certain spot. And I've been here before. I've actually crossed across the Yuba River before in this same spot in the past, and it's like, all right, you know, this was May, so we had a lot of runoff still, and we get down to the end of the campsite, and basically it just dead ends. And so it's like, all right, well, let's cross the river, let's see what happens over there. Done it before, it's like, whatever. So we kind of creep up to the river, and as we're creeping up to the river, we are like checking it out, and it was a little deep. I'm like, you know, it's not bad. Get a little closer, and I look out the window and I see that the water's coming up on the tire, but it's not quite, maybe it's a quarter way up the tire. I'm like, all right, should be okay. Start going a little bit more, and the tire just goes down further. I'm like, ooh, okay, it's a little deep. At that point, I was like, maybe we should back up. And when I go to back up, basically the whole truck was in the river, and it starts to kind of just slide. Like, it won't back up or anything like that. So we're like, okay, 4-wheel drive is on, lockers are on. So I'm like, oof, okay, if it's not backing up, you know, what should we do here? And so my buddy's like, well, let's just try to go forward. Let's see if we can just kind of muscle through it. And so we had, it wasn't that far across the river. It was maybe another like 25 yards. It wasn't too far. And so we're like, all right, let's go ahead and make it happen. And so start going forward, and instantly after we got past the spot where I couldn't back up, you felt the weight of the truck kind of lift up. And when it lifted up, I'm like, ooh, okay, that's not okay. And I start to try to accelerate to push further past that spot. The truck dies. So when it dies, you hear my buddy's like saying, hey, like, you know, go left. And I'm like, I am, but the truck dies. Try to start the truck, won't start again. And by that time I was like realizing, like, okay, we're floating.
You sure it's not like right there where that truck is at?
Oh yeah, it's right there where that truck is at. So you gotta go this way. I don't think he's making it where he is. He's already there, so we already seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go up here, scope it out.
I think this might be the water crossing section.
Yeah. There's no other trail. It's just that spot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Just want to go up and look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna cross. Oh, Ruben.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Ruben. Go left.
I'm trying.
Ruben.
Oh shit.
Go straight. Go straight. Go over there.
Truck's dead. Shit.
Man, okay, so not panicking. Just like, okay, this sucks. Water's coming in, but it wasn't that bad. And to the right side, as we're going straight down the river, there's this like a shadow, almost like a berm. So in my mind is like, okay, well, there's a berm right there. The truck is being pushed that way. This really sucks, but at least the truck will get stuck on the berm, and then, you know, we'll have to figure out a way to get it out. So as it starts to go down river, again, May, so a lot of runoff. The river was going kind of fast. It starts to tip forward a little bit. And as it's tipping forward, the river started pouring into the passenger side door. And so we're like, okay, we need to get out. We need to get out. One of the things is I had my dogs with me. I had a Rottweiler, Mika, and I had my she was a little mutt. Her name was Mango, and they were in the back seat. I never put my dogs in the backpack. They're always with me. And so anyway, so we're going in. All of a sudden, the water starts coming in through the passenger door window, and we're like, we need to get out. We need to get out. So I scoot out the window. I don't even know how I did that, honestly. But scoot out the window, and he scoots out, and probably no more than like 2 to 5 seconds, the truck dips down underwater. And it starts going without me. So like it was going faster than I was, and it went down. I don't know where Justin's at. I know that he got out, and I'm just watching the truck, and I see the Lone Peak, corner of the Lone Peak kind of poking out. And so I catch up with the truck in the water, and Justin pops up out of the water, and he's like, I got the driver passenger door open. And so at this point, I'm grabbing onto one of the load bars on the Lone Peak, and I'm holding onto it. And the door, I can see the doors open, but the truck is basically almost vertical in the water. The Lone Peak was actually kind of holding it up. So so Justin's like, I got it open. I'm like, okay, let me go down and try to get there. The water was so unbearably cold. So as soon as you go underwater, it takes your breath. And from where the truck's nose was at, it was probably a good 6-7 feet underwater. Not the nose, excuse me. The back of the truck was 6 or 7 feet underwater to where the door was at. So I go down, and all I can do is I can get my arms into the doorway, and I'm feeling. But because it was so cold, I couldn't get my breath, so I had to come back up. So I come up for breath, and I'm like, I can't do it. Justin goes down again, and I'm like, all right, let me try to go down again. So I go down again, only these arms. I don't feel my dogs. Pop back up, and at this time I go to grab the load bar as I did before, and I missed. And the water started taking me away. And I was wearing something similar. I had my boots on, I had jeans on. And as I'm going, I'm like, I look downriver, and I look back, and I see Mango swimming to the side. I'm like, okay, he got her out. Justin got her out. And so I'm kind of floating down the river, and I'm like realizing like, ooh, I'm in a bad spot. I can't touch the ground. I'm going really fast. And I start like trying to swim towards a rocky area that had some rocks and some bushes, whatever. I go over there, and I bounce off the rocks. I wasn't. It was really slippery, so I couldn't like catch myself. And I start floating down the river again. And I start realizing like, I'm in a bad spot. Like I start yelling out for help. I'm not a very good swimmer. I mean, I can swim. I'm not very good. And I start yelling out for help, and there's campsites that are all down the river, and nobody's at their camp spot. And I remember in my mind thinking, like, that's weird. Where is everybody? Like, nobody's at their camp spot. And so as I'm going down, there's several different lagoons at this area, and I'm going downriver, and I go underwater. And I remember looking down, and I can't touch the ground. And I remember looking up, and I could see the top of the water, but I can't get up there. And all the while I'm having this logical thought of like, I need to take my boots off. Well, I can't take my boots off because they're tied on. It's not one of those like my life flashed before my eyes. It was logical thinking. I need to do this, but I can't. I come up out of the water and I get caught up in some rapids and it takes me further down. I get into another lagoon and I go down again. And in my mind, I'm like, this is how they find people in the river. You know, they don't find them floating on top. They find them under the water. And that's me. I'm underwater and I can't get up. I can put my hand up. I can't get my hand out. So I was able to get up one more time and I got pulled back down. And I remember putting my right arm up and just kind of reaching up out of the water because I couldn't get up to the top. And I felt first I felt a rock hit my elbow, and then I felt some bushes. I just grabbed onto those bushes. And I grabbed them with like everything I had. And the water was strong enough to where it spun me around and slapped me against the rocks. And I'm holding on to this bush. The current's trying to take me. And I remember I was able to get a breath, but the water was right here. I remember that specifically because I was like putting my chin up to get a breath. And I was exhausted. I went to try to kind of scoot myself out of the rapids because it was pulling me and I was gripping and I could feel like my arm burning. I was gripping, trying to hold on, and I was trying to push myself off of these rocks. It was kind of a little divot. And when I finally get out of the rapid into this divot, I'm hearing something, and it's Justin from the other side of the river. And he had gotten out, and he's like, Ruben, you need to get out of the water. You need to get out of the water. And I couldn't hear anything. I could kind of hear it, and I was exhausted. I was so tired. I couldn't get out of the water at all. And he's like, I could hear him. You need to fight. And one of the things I thought was weird is I got enough energy to put my hand up and give him a thumbs up. And he was yelling, you need to fight, you need to get out of the water. And so I kind of scooted my body over a little bit, enough to where I was still in the water. The water was still like right at my face, but I wasn't in the rapid anymore. And I could let go of the bush. And I finally had mustered up enough energy to kind of flop over and roll over onto the rock. But I was dead. I had no energy. I had nothing left. And so I'm just kind of flopped on the rock, and this lady comes running over to me, and she's like, are you okay? You need to get out of the water. You need to get out of the water. And I I couldn't talk. I had no energy. I was just mumbling. And she says, come on, you need to help me get you out. So she kind of helps me get out of the water, and she's like, can you at least sit up? So she helps me sit up, and she's like, we need to take your shirt off. She starts taking my shirt off. A friend of hers or her boyfriend or partner or whatever came over and brought over a towel, and he starts to proceed to make a fire behind me. trying to warm me up. And I had no energy. I couldn't speak. She was asking me questions. I was just like, I remember just kind of like just constantly just kind of moaning, like, couldn't say anything. And I'm sitting there for a few minutes, and Justin comes over, he's on the other side of the river, and I see him walk over, and I ask him, did Mika get out? No, man, she's still in the truck. And I just lost it. I didn't care about the truck. I didn't care about anything. But my dog was still in the truck. It was such an awful feeling. So they warmed me up enough, and they had the fire going for a while, and it was weird. Time was fast. I don't know, it was odd. I was sitting there for a while. She was warming me up, she was talking to me. I was able to finally speak to her a little bit, and I was able to, they're like, kind of just tell her what happened. And Justin's like, I called Cameron, he's on his way. And from Sacramento to this camp spot, from Sacramento just to get to the trailhead is about an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes. To get to the trail is a whole nother like 30 minutes or whatever. So it was so weird is that finally it was like, okay, I'm ready to get up and walk to their camps, to the camp spot, these folks that pulled me out. And I remember seeing Cameron actually struck there. And I felt just so relieved that like they're like my family. My family's here, and they had come to get me, and so kind of told them the story, and I dried off enough to where I was able to like kind of move around. I had a horrible headache, and we immediately started to walk around and look for Mika, or excuse me, Mango. Mango had gotten out, trying to find Mango. We spent probably 3 or 4 hours looking for Mango. We couldn't find her, and Mika was her person. So Mango was really skittish, but Mika was her person. So if Mika did it, Mango would do it. And so when this all happened, Mika just bolted, and so we couldn't find her. And they ended up taking me down to the hospital. I was fine. I ingested a bunch of water and stuff, but nothing really long, nothing long lasting. And was able to go home. I didn't say anything to anybody. So obviously there was things that were out there that were like, people in the campsite, their camp areas, you could see the truck. You could actually see the top, the white of the truck, going, kind of coming out of the water, like not out of the water. It was just bright enough to where you could see it. And I remember seeing it, and I was just looking at it, I was like, wow, because the water looked so calm. It wasn't like it was raging. And so nobody knew about it, other than like the people at the campsite and my people. So I'm calling around, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this truck out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was calling the Forest Service. They were like, yeah, we can get you in contact with somebody to get it out. And it was like, we may have to wait till July because the water's too heavy right now. I'm like, man. And I get an Instagram DM from a buddy of mine, fellow Nissan guy. Well, he was, now he's a Toyota guy. But he's like, hey man, is it true? I heard there's a Nissan on 37s in the Yuba River. The thing is my truck is unique. There's not very many out there like that at all, like my build. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's mine. And he's like, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm good. And he goes, he's like, you know, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, this kind of just happened a couple days ago. And maybe 10 minutes later, I get on this group chat. All these people are in this group chat, and he's like, hey, we need to get Ruben's truck out of the water. I was kind of blown away. I didn't expect that. And everyone's like, yeah, let's go. We can go down tomorrow. We can go pick it up, go get it out. And we had, it was the owner of Descent Off-Road. My friend Justin works for them, and another Justin, not Justin that was in the car. And the owner of Descent Off-Road, Justin, a couple other guys and some Jeeps, and Justin, which I didn't know this until recently. He's like, hey, I'll go out there, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna fish it out. I'll hook up to it, we can get it up. He only has one loan. And he's going out there and he's swimming out to this truck, going underwater and hooking it up. The guy's a beast. It's a trip. So he throws on his wetsuit, he swims out to the truck, and they hook up to the bull bar on it, and they start pulling it, and they're like, man, this thing's pulling easy. And I was like, you know, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but they're like, it wasn't working the winches hard, it wasn't stuck. And I realized afterwards that the Lone Peak was actually holding it buoyant underwater. So when they hooked up to the bull bar, it basically floated towards the shore. And all they were doing is just one winch, just pulling this dry weight before it's underwater, 7,000 pounds. So the water, you know, crazy, but they get it to shore and we pull it out of the water. And we pull it up, and I mean, you know, obviously just water everywhere. And I leave it on the side to like kind of dry itself out, and need to figure a way to get it out of the trail. Because again, high clearance 4-wheel drive, you got to be able to pull this thing, you know, it's going to be a bear to pull out. And we pulled it out 2 days later, and was able to get it after it dried out enough, get it off the trail and get it home. So after getting it home, I let it sit. I'm like, you know, I got other things going on in my life right now. I'm like, you know, it's just mindset that like it's gonna sit. So summer kind of came fast, and so I popped up the tent, opened up the doors. Sacramento during the summertime usually is in the hundreds. So I guess of any good time for this to happen, summertime would be a good time to happen, to have it dry out. So nice and hot, and it sat for a while. And then my friend Cameron, the one that came and got me, he's a Nissan master mechanic. And so without him, this truck wouldn't even be what it is now, let alone where it is now. So anyway, so he comes over and he just starts wrenching on it right away, pulls the plugs, and we go to work. And I'm cleaning the cylinders out and stuff like that, and I'm like, all right, it's time to start it. And I go to start the thing, and I forgot that the intakes, because it's a V8 swap, so the intake runners are kind of hooped or whatever, and there's still water on the bottom of the runners. So go to fire it up, and it was like, okay, like whoa, 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 crap, and locked up. Oh man. So it went on to fire. Surprisingly, it was, a lot of things worked. The windows still worked. One of them didn't. Power seats, they still worked. When we went to go start it, we had to put a battery on it, obviously. And when we put the battery on it, the headlights turned on. It was such a weird thing. So it was okay, well, I just locked up the motor. All right, well, that's not it. This can't be it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get another motor for it. So I ended up driving down to San Bernardino to get a new motor for it. Go and put a new motor in it. And one of our goals was, we want to get this truck started. If it'll start and it'll run, then we can work our way back and that it's good. And so, me, I'm the kind of guy that kind of knows what I'm doing, and I can wrench a little bit. But I was relying a lot on Cameron to kind of guide me and say, hey, this is what it is. And in this truck, it was pretty overwhelming because there's a lot. And so it was like, Cameron was like, no, man, just let's get the motor working first. If we get the motor working first, then we can move on to the interior. So working on the motor, put the new motor in, everything's in, and it fires up. Not very well. It was kind of like spitting its back, and it was just not happy, but it was running. It's like, okay. So I was like, what now? And Cameron's like, get on the interior, start working on that. And so I tore out the entire interior, everything, seats, carpet, headliner. That was a pain. Just pulled everything out. And there was dirt in places that you would never think dirt would get to. Never. I was blown away where some of this dirt was coming from. So pulled out all the interior and cleaned everything to factory new, nice and fresh. And then I had to pressure wash a lot of the carpet, a lot of the headliner, and just clean the seats, pull the door panels off. The window that wouldn't work, there's another YouTuber that I watched, Legit Streetcars, and he had a flooded truck video that he had done probably like 3 or 4 months after mine had been in the water. And so this was like, okay, that's a reference. And he's like, yeah, if the seat's not working, like 'cause it's underwater or whatever, or the window, hook it up to an 18 volt battery. If you give it a little extra juice, she'll sometimes come to life. So I get in there, for 18 volt battery, window rolls right up. All it needed was just a little bit of a crack loose, and it popped up. Same thing with the seat, 18 volt battery, all of a sudden the seat starts moving. One of the backs didn't move. This is crazy. So get that all torn out, start working on that, and Cameron and I start dialing in the motor. Needed a few different modules here and there. Nothing, honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was eBay, get this, eBay, get that, put stuff together, and the motor's singing. It's fine. Okay. Transmission, on the other hand, was a different story. It was full of water. When I first removed the oil, the water from the oil pan, it rolled for probably a good 60 seconds of just water. No oil, just water for 60 seconds. So transmission was the same. Popped it open, just water came for days out of it, and finally, pink sludge came out. And so spent a lot of time just kind of putting transmission fluid in it, turning it on, dumping it out, so on. So we're almost there, you know, and as we're kind of putting things together, I'm building the truck from scratch back to its original self, and it's taken me 9 months, 10 months, 9 months to kind of get to where I am today. This was a trial by fire. Me, you know, wanting to have you guys look at the camper and see, you know, see how it did, you know, how it did or whatever, check the wiring and stuff like that. It was like, okay, well, Keisha's like, yeah, come on up, we'll take a look at it. And I'm like, all right. And so that was 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. And Keisha's like, well, can you come up like next week? And I'm like, oh, no, I can't come up next week, but I can be here Monday. And we were like, all right, well, that's our first test. So from Sacramento to here, it's 14-hour drive, not stops, 14-hour drive. And everyone kind of looked at me a little funny, like, really, you're gonna do that? Yeah. Cameron's like, it should make it. It should make it up. But I'm like, we'll see. You know, I loaded it with tools, fluids, all that stuff. And Cameron's like, man, I'll be just watching your location. Give me a call if something happens. And 14 hours straight up here from Sacramento, not an issue. It made it all the way up here without a problem, which is really, really impressive. And like I said, I can't take all the credit for the truck. Honestly, without Cameron and his expertise and his kindness to take time out of his day to come and help me with the truck, it's been invaluable, and I love him for that. It's one where without him, I couldn't do it. And it's been a blessing. And then with the camper, you guys went through it. Just a juice box that needed to be replaced, and the fan was dirty. I mean, the whole thing is dirty. It still needs to be cleaned. I haven't even tried to clean it. But absolutely impressed that I figured I was gonna be here for like a whole day, maybe two, you know, just having to pull it off and deal with this stuff. And literally just changing the connections that were to the truck bed. Because the camper held the truck up, it bent those arms. But again, the truck is heavy. So yeah, that's gonna happen. That's crazy, but it still held onto the truck. I drove it up here with the bent arms. I just tightened them down so that the camper would be fine, but it made it up here. So just new puck arms, new juice box, and just clean off the fan. And she's ready to go again. Pretty wild. So I'm the guy, I'm one of the guys in my group of friends that is, that's the like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it. I'll try it, you know? And I mean, I'm too old for that. I gotta stop doing that stuff. But you know, maybe it's a machismo thing, ego thing, I don't know. But you know, try to, you know, I'll try it. And sometimes you put yourself in a situation where, you know, that was a bad idea. So water crossings should always be, even though I'd done it before, I'd crossed that before in this truck. But I had actually done it a different way, and I just didn't remember the way I'd done it before. And so for me, it should have been, let's test the depth first. Let's not put our whole truck in there. Let's see, how deep is it? And to be cautious that, you know, when you're doing stuff out in the bush, and you have people with you, you have your loved ones, your dogs, like, you're responsible for them. You are making a choice for them that they may not have chosen. And I realize that I need to be, that you just need to make sure that you are checking what you're doing first and being cognizant of the situation and know what you're getting into. Because it's not just you, and it's not just your stuff, it's other people and other loved ones that you have.